Do this. Okay. I think we're still okay. But
Okay, good.
yeah, yeah. So yes, we've we've already got enough excitement going on. We don't need to.
I know, and
Yeah.
every second. It's
Yes.
just amazing that my son was here visiting, and the impact of what's been going on has really affected him and his outlook and his concern about control. And I
Right.
kept saying that, you can't control it. You just can only react to observe the way you're reacting, and observe what's not working for you and really investigate that, because
Right.
that's the only truth, that you have. So
Yeah.
just keep moving and go deep inside and go deeper and go deeper until you find that gem,
Right.
you know,
Right.
that truth. So anyway.
No, you're doing fine. I'm again nodding in agreement. I'm going to just share with you. I'm probably on the other side of the politics of this particular election. From where you're at, with love and respect for you and
Mhm.
all my friends in America. But we're not gonna. We won't go deep into any of that. What I feel as an empath and an intuitive and a healer myself is, as you've just described, is that this is it's thrown everyone deep into their themselves and their stuff. I was in that for the last 8 years. I know that what you've said to me is what I've learned as well, which is, we're all creating our own reality based on our beliefs and based on, the love or the fear that we're willing to turn to or holding on to. And,
Mhm.
you and I'm sure will agree, my friend, that America has a real destiny in terms of its role in the world. And so, once again, it's on the front lines, of consciousness and belief
Mhm.
systems, asking all of us to look deeper. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which is not
Exactly.
always fun or easy.
No, and um I think there's this level of stillness that is a stillness that is kind of undescribable,
Beautiful.
and that we're all just sort of um in the wings experiencing what that means to each of us. And as we gather that information in solitude or stillness, then that the energy appears, or the way appears, or the um, closer to truth appears. And I think that's really the grace in which we have to carry each day, And
Yes.
I'm a full believer, and I'm in even deeper. So
Yeah. Well, you said you said the magic word there for me, Fran, which is, my guides call it the space for grace.
yeah.
And you could say it is the divine feminine. It is the womb of creation. It is the Holy Grail. It is putting our heart in our hands, and asking for clarity and
Mhm.
peace, and praying for everyone. I'll just go out on a limb there and say that's what I've been, practicing more diligently, you
Yeah.
know, because I understand this much of the big picture, and Almighty understands the big picture. So I'll vote with him.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I love that. I like that.
Thank
That's
you.
very good.
Thank you. Well,
Yeah.
you may not have seen it. We had because of me also, wanting to get off the cycle of discussing, debating, arguing, people's merits or integrity or lack thereof, or all of our perceptions about who's right and who's wrong. So we did a couple weeks ago, we did a live with about 14, 15 people from around the world, and it was called Vote for Love. And so we
Mm.
just talked about our visions of divine government, which is the phrase I've borrowed from Patricia Cota Robles. who's one of my favorite teachers, and listening to her work. And she's done several guided meditations having us work with divine government. But again, America plays that very pivotal role of, being the microcosm for the macrocosm.
Hmm.
And so important.
It is. It just, I mean, it's hard to describe the feeling. Only that I think there is this sort of split that's
Yes.
happening.
Yes.
And I think it's going to happen very organically, and it's already happening. It's
Yeah.
just, it's just the cue now. It's just like, oh, here we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And wishing those well, whatever their path is. And if their path is part of that a negativity that they believe in, or whatever that is that they believe in, So, more power, not more power to them, but they're going to go that way. They're going to go that way.
Yeah.
Sure. But I just think that it's just going to evolve naturally. It's
Yeah.
just going to go
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
separate way, so to
Yeah.
speak.
I hear you. Yeah, I also feel, let me know what you think about this, but I also feel that truth itself is becoming more visceral, more tangible, and more present in everyone's lives. And that we're, because there is so much at stake,
Mhm.
that we're really, searching our souls. You touched on it there earlier, of doing that deep inner dive to, have to contemplate and reflect on the absolute truths, the infinites, the eternal questions. And then, as we do that, then come back into our lives and see what
Mhm.
changes. That's my way of finding my way through all these energies as well.
Yeah. I like that word reflection.
Yes.
It's almost, again, it's the speed of which that we need to do that. That question of, all the stuff is coming up, whether it's anger, whether it's, self-esteem, or whether it's all these egotistical things that pop up.
Yeah.
That is the reflection of, what we're supposed to go through and how we're supposed to evolve and
Yeah.
move through it.
Yeah. Yeah. I also am interested, that's so well said, Fran. I also, I'm interested in your thoughts about how this is affecting women in general, and the divine feminine, in terms of women feeling safe or unsafe, seen or unseen. I'm sure all that seems to be.
Well, I think again, there is this is not a surprise, I think, to women. Women
Right.
have been in this place before. This is something that they know.
Right.
And it's, once again, I remember seeing this photo of, I don't remember that she's a singer, and I can't remember her name right now, but there's a picture of her, and she's just going like this, and she's completely still, and she's just, you can just feel, I can't say anything. I don't know what I'm experiencing. All I know is that I'm going back into a deeper place where I've been before.
Right. Right.
And within that place of solitude, and I would call it an inner strength of empowerment that a lot of women have,
Yes.
naturally, that they just go in and find that in themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
That in itself is undescribable. That's
Right.
present, I
Right.
think, with many, many women. And it's quiet, it's not talked about
Right.
because there's no need.
Yeah.
We're just building the strength. We're building the ability to go even deeper and further and wider.
Right.
And there's nothing that can stop it.
Oh, yeah. Well, exactly. It
Nothing.
needs to happen.
Yeah.
For women and in America, and women in the world, to to have a voice and feel sovereign and equal in every way is essential and necessary and long overdue, you know.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think um, you know, the youth, the males, the young males are finding, I think they're finding that sort of darker night of the soul where they have to find themselves in another way. I mean, these 30-year-olds, these, you know, they're starting to wake up
Yeah.
and they have to.
Right. Yeah.
But um it's hard. It's hard on them.
Yeah, baby. It's
It's hard.
heavy lifting. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
very, very heavy lifting and constantly, you know, what kind of man am I? Am I
Right.
sensitive man? Am I, you know, aggressive man? Am I, where are my feelings and how do
Yes.
I react? And those are,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
hard.
Yeah. Am I a protector or an exploiter of, you know, women's beautiful and natural vulnerability? And am I in respect of women's strength and courage and essential role in our world, you know?
Hmm.
I mean, a lot of the, when the indigenous people speak, you know, I think we all tend to listen with a deep heart and deep from a deep place. And you know, I think of I got to spend some time with the Lakota, and you know, they would have the grandmothers, and the grandmothers were the ones who held the heart of the tribe. And then, you know, what they decided, that was the law. You know, that was what we did. And then the
Hmm.
grandmothers tell the grandfathers, who would tell the young men and women, and you know, that was the way it happened. So,
Yeah.
you know, we need a lot more of that in our world.
Well, I think it's stepping in and stepping into that place of stillness. And I'm going to be doing a Thanksgiving meditation on the 17th. And I wrote this poem that I want to share with you.
Please, yes. I did 90
Um,
minutes of poetry last Friday night to
oh, you did?
yes, to calm
Oh,
the nerves of the yeah,
yeah.
of
Yeah. So, um, the need for grace and gratitude for this Thanksgiving is so vital for us all to step up and into a place of stillness and pause and peace. Allow grace to quietly surround, permeate, and embrace your body, mind, heart, and soul to settle any internal storm. Liquidate thoughts of despair, anger, fear, and use your power to transform any negative energy into thoughts of kindness, truth, and permanence of love. Truth and grace residing in divine love will always win the battle of fear. We are what we create. Let's not feed into the energy of controversy, bickering, and dispute. Haven't we had enough? Propose the idea of a new direction of empowerment, strengthening a deeper love and gratitude and faith to create new probabilities. We are being called to gather, co-create, and strengthen a new bond of love that is unbreakable. Respectfully adopt this idea into your daily routine with relationships, work, and family. Your people, your community will naturally gravitate towards each other with ease. Let's find a way to coexist with less conflict and consciously create a more vibrant, loving environment.
beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'm, yeah, the meditation on Sunday will be a lot around that, but also I'm trying to gather the energy of speed and healing at the same time and how we implement that in our bodies.
okay.
So that's kind of where what I'm channeling.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's lovely, honey. Wonderful.
Hmm.
Wonderful. Well, that I think that's a good place, Fran, to invite you to tell a little bit of your backstory of how you came up and how you became who you are today.
Yeah, it's a I've got this wait curtain. It's like
It was actually looking lovely on you, if I can tell
Yeah,
you.
I'm gonna push it away a little bit. There we
Okay.
go.
All right. The light was very nice.
Okay, so
Yeah.
um,
Perfect.
yeah, I again, as we reevaluate our why we're here, I think as a very young child, I knew my purpose because I would hear things and know things. And I grew up in a very metaphysical home as a Christian Scientist, so I understood the idea of metaphysics and um, God is love, and we are all truth, and we can heal ourselves, and that idea is constantly shared.
Yes, which is a radically different way for most people to grow up. I have to remind you,
Mhm,
it's very
mhm.
awake.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know anything about Catholics, or I didn't know any of that. So what are you doing
Oh,
standing up and sitting down? I mean,
missed all the fun,
what
Fran.
is
Let me tell
that?
you,
What
the
what
guilt,
is
shame, and blame of the Catholic Church was there
oh
for
my
you.
God. It was really yeah. What is confirmation? What is that? We were already confirmed, in this
You didn't need to eat a
process.
wafer or
No, I didn't
memorize
have
the
to, I didn't,
catechism or anything.
I was already God or whatever,
See, you
positive.
skipped ahead a few classes.
Yeah. So anyway, but then, I grew up with a lot of music and dance. My mom danced and my dad sang. And so there was a very
Oh yes,
vibrant, sort of fun
yeah,
experience growing up.
yeah.
And,
Was
but,
this in South Carolina also, or where were you?
no, this was in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So we lived in this sort of old house, and, had lots of fun times with land and being outside and nature and all that stuff. So
Thanks.
anyway, I had a career in dance, and I at 12 had a near-death experience, which was very eye-opening.
Yeah,
And I believe that that was a big change for me as far as my connection to this purpose was really much deeper, but I didn't realize that until later, of course. And then
what happened in your near-death experience?
I was at camp, and I was in a canoe trip with women, and we believed that mind never mattered. We could take these rapids ourselves, right? So we're all women, and I'm going around a bend, and I'm the first one. I'm 12. So I suddenly see this canoe up like this with a log in front of it.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my. So I hang on to the reeds and yell back, everybody stop, because we would have gone right. So we portaged over the log,
Okay.
and I was the last canoe. Helped everybody else, right?
Wow.
And so I started sinking, and my foot got caught between two canoes and pulled me under.
Wow.
And I thought, oh, this is kind of funny, but it isn't. And, then I saw my life sort of pass in front of me, go through the
Okay.
tunnel, and all
Okay.
these people, and they said,
Okay.
no, you're not ready. So I went shocked back in my body. And
Wow.
so that was it. And, I wasn't afraid of death. I just knew something had changed. I didn't know what.
Sure, it's a huge initiation, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. So, I had all these experiences of spiritual things happening, and like coming in at age 19. I was living in San Francisco, and they were trying to get me to get on board. I was like, no, I'm not ready to do that yet. So
Okay.
in my 20s, I
So your
tried to,
guides were asking you to
yeah, they were
participate,
asking me to step up and get
teach
on with it.
things or share things.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I wasn't ready. And
Yeah, yeah. I just getting the,
so,
you know.
yeah,
And of course you're in San Francisco. I mean, this
of
is
course, in the hate. Oh yeah, did all that.
70s.
Yeah, 70s.
Okay. Little LSD, marijuana therapy, all that. Sure.
Marijuana, and then the gay scene, and then all that. And that's when I left. I said that those boys aren't looking at me, so I'm leaving.
Oh,
So
that's a drag. Yeah, I'm
I
sorry that happened. Yeah.
oh, and I got my degree, my dance degree, and became a dancer and choreographer, educator of dance for years, and then basically I was teaching a Montessori school and with the children, and one of the parents was a doctor,
Okay.
and he was a alternative doctor from South Africa, saying that you could see and that I could see energy. And I went, really? What's that? And I knew, but I didn't know.
Right.
So I
Sure.
started training with Rosalind Briere out of California. She was awesome and really a brilliant healer. And
Her book
I
was
looked
Healing
at her.
Secrets of Light. Is that
Yes,
yes?
yes. And I looked at her and went, uh-oh, they found me, because I just sat next to her and I went, oh my God. It was just like this. I'd known her before and all this stuff started coming up. And then I went into deep meditation through John Friedlander and Gloria Hampshire,
Okay.
learned all about the chakras and then it just took off from there. And then 2002, I channeled the word Shiva, which is seeking harmony and energy, voice, and action.
Okay.
And ever since then, I've been developing this method of body work, meditation, um, understanding that one begets the other. If it's not the body, it's the mind. If it's not the mind, it's the emotions. If it's not
Right.
that, it's the soul discord. And then I studied, I got my facilitator for an Enneagram, which is a study of personalities, because
Yes.
as a healer, you have to know, your own quirks and your own, you know, downfalls or whatever that is. And so
Yeah.
I really
Strengths and
felt that that was really important.
yeah.
So I found out about all personalities. They're either body, heart, or mind, and it helped me understand the energy of each individual as a healer, plus how to pull my energy back, how to ground, how to be present, and observer. So I teach people how to observe and teach people that they can heal themselves
Yeah.
and that they are part of this experience, and that um, they have the ability and the love to co-create and create. And I just, so that's kind of, it's a self-healing method is what it is.
Yeah. Well, that's a few lifetimes worth of wisdom there in a couple sentences. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's
So,
beautiful. Well, and Fran, I mean, obviously your clarity is really deep and you're getting, very clear information and messages. We're talking, you were saying you were having trouble sleeping because the full moon is 3 days away and it's already affecting you. Bless you. You're the princess and the pea, you know. Do you have a sense? I'd love to ask you about ascension in general and the energies of, aside from the political, the worldly, but what's happening for you energetically with the earth and humanity in terms of ascension these days? What you're picking up or getting?
I think that ascension is simultaneous and it happens at all hours, all minutes of the day. I think that these downloads of information, um, again, it has to do with the level of speed and how the transformation continues to happen. And so I think since I'm a dancer, the physical awareness of what's happening to the body, where there's a pain here or a pain there, or there's something that's not digesting, or so I'm so tapped into the body itself that it's affecting everything. And if you recognize something in your body that's not working correctly or is in resistance. So resistance meaning that, okay, you're not allowing that ascension. So there's a resistance to what you need to address or let go of.
Yeah.
And the body is holding me down and not in flow. So then I will be awake to understand that, oh, there it is.
Okay.
So when you breathe and when you really take a deep breath and say to yourself, okay, bring what I'm supposed to address. Let me address it, and then let me move on.
Mhm, mhm. Great. So you're
So,
working very directly with blockages and
mhm,
okay, and
mhm.
wonderful. Okay.
Um,
I think you're also very connected to the earth with all of that,
yeah,
because
absolutely.
that's such a huge focus. I was mentioning we did an 11/11 program with Patricia Coder Robles on Monday night, and she talks about the 40 days from 11/11 to the winter solstice. Uh,
Mm,
yeah, being a very important period of time, and especially to come to the point of connecting with Mother Earth. So they were just giving me that information about your connection.
hmm. Well, even in like in South, there's something here in this where we are, and the weather is so dynamic. It could rain, it could have wind, and that wind comes, and it's just like, okay, let's let those windows open and let the energy flow. And that is not in resistance. If the rain is here, the rain is more of the inner stillness. And then things churn up and then the wind comes. So I'm definitely connected to.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, I mean, what you keep coming back to, which is great. This is your gift and your strength is, as a healer and a teacher, helping all of us to become more conscious of the wisdom of our bodies and and our connection through our bodies to the earth and to spirit, to be a bridge between heaven and earth is my favorite phrase about all that. And,
Hmm.
in terms of ascension, I mean, where we started here talking about the American election, just in general terms, and the emotional response, everyone has had to that one, either joyous or despair, and very little in the middle, and that's the way these things tend to work at the beginning,
Hmm.
so we're all thrown into ourselves either, to process all of this, our shadow stuff, um, or to hold that space for healing, oneness, unity, the bigger picture, forgiveness, compassion, mercy, kindness, safety, all of these important energies. So yeah, you really got your hands full in the U.S. at the moment with the
Yeah.
emotional healing. I'm sure.
Yeah. And it's interesting. When we ask the question of the human condition and how could some be some way and how could some be another way. Um, in this play, I would say
Yeah, yeah,
we're all being tested on both sides, and I don't know whether I don't know if there's going to be a breakthrough on the other side or that we all have to face something,
sure,
and I can't speak for the other side, but they are dealing with something,
sure.
and I can't put my finger on it. Maybe it's just not, I don't know. I can't. I feel like there's something that is coming and I don't know what it is.
Fair
I
enough.
I can't. I can't. I mean, I really can't. It's like we're being held and that we're being shook up. You
Yes,
know,
yes,
we are definitely doing this, and it's
yeah,
like what is coming out of that sifter? I don't know.
sure, sure. Yeah, yeah,
All I know is that we have to hold on in order to quiet it in order to survive because we were here to do that. That's why we're here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, for
And so,
yeah, no, I'm sorry. Go on, finish your thought there.
no, I just think that's why we're here. And I think so that the concept of our real purpose is even more evident.
Yeah, yeah, coming to the surface.
Coming to the surface.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, astrologically, uh,
Yeah.
I know what the Enneagram is. I've never had anyone do my little numbers for me, and of course, now I'm learning about human design and the gene keys.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
those are fascinating. And there's actually, uh, I'm a Virgo, so I love the details of things, and I think I'm more emotional, but I'm emotional mental. But anyway, the inner child, this is what I'm reaching for. Astrologically, we're in the last degree of Pluto after 250 years in Capricorn, and Capricorn is represented as the mountain goat, which will do whatever it has to do to get to the top of the mountain. It will
Hmm.
its purpose. So this
Hmm.
is in terms of the destiny of America, and our birthday being July the 4th, 1776, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 5 p.m., when they signed the Declaration of Independence, something which I don't think is taught much anymore, sadly. But this was an
Hmm.
important detail in my youth. Um, all of that is coming to a level of completion on the 19th of November. And so after that, that 250-year cycle is done, and
Hmm.
then we move into Pluto in Aquarius. And,
Hmm.
and this is where you and I grew up with the fifth dimension. So
Right.
this is the dawning of the age of
Yeah,
Aquarius,
right, right.
and we're here to see it. Thank God, at long
Yeah.
last. So yeah, there's a lot of endings and beginnings, and what I was just touching on in terms of all of that you were sharing so beautifully is that the inner child. Governments and politicians, elections tend to be about like sport teams. Who's the good dad? Who's the bad dad? Who's the good guy? The bad guy, etc. And our hopes and fears and dreams and grief and wounds and sorrows and resentments and judgments and hatreds and all of those things, loves and longings and yearnings, all of that's just been flung out very powerfully over all this, I think.
Hmm. Hmm. Well said.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So here we are, my friend. We're at the turning point.
We are. We are. So what does your gut tell you?
Well, I think this is a good thing, but I have, like wept tears of disappointment, heartache, and grief and sorrow and fear about America and the human race, and where we're at and where we're striving to get to. But I think that this is, I guess, why I was mentioning the astrology. I think we're about to close the book on the old
Hmm.
way of doing things.
Hmm.
And hallelujah, I think we've drained the cup dry, and now we'll find out what's on the other side of all that. So I to build on that, Fran, I think that this really is the time for the visionaries and for our own sense of identity and sovereignty and empowerment. And as I said earlier, nobody knows the big picture, and we can't look into anyone else's heart or soul and know who they really are, in this realm. So, we're just all going to be asked to do our very best and live the example that we want to, be the change we want to see in the world, as Gandhi said,
Right.
and see what becomes different. So I think there is a new sense of community coming, and I'll just say, living here in Ireland, there's such a symbiotic relationship, of course, between the U.S. and Ireland, and we're having our national election here in a few weeks, and we've got some bad boys and girls and some troubles here as well. So you know, it's all in the same mix.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think that this closure that I think I'm sensing, and there is a definitely this closure, and at the same time I'm free. It's like there's this complete shift, and it's finally here, and we can finally let go.
Okay.
So in that thinking, that is the freedom. We can just go, and we
Yeah.
can just work with all these years we've been working towards this. We do it every day, and we express it every day. We share it every day. We implement every day. And I think it will coagulate. I think it will come together.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it really is this divine feminine, of, as I was touching on, the grandmothers, and the everyone feels that the matriarchy is the patriarchy with lipstick and nice hair. And of course, because you're a woman of great wisdom, that the matriarchy is the mother or the grandmother, and she is the one that holds the space for the sacredness of all life, and is not competitive or comparing, except as it benefits the greater whole. And
Mhm.
the patriarchy, Riane Eisler did this book, The Chalice and the Blade, talking about how, the patriarchy, yeah, it's pretty impressive, but it doesn't last, because it rises and falls with men's fragile, vain egos, basically. And, it's the women who get the children born and through the night and off to school the next day, and keep the food on the table and all the rest of it, keep the house going. They're the ones that are really the backbone
Mhm.
of the society, the soul of the society, and the men are there to learn and to learn from and support the women, and be a part of that. But it's the divine feminine that keeps the earth turning.
Yeah, I would agree.
Thank you. I'm shocked if you didn't.
Well, yeah, I mean, I thank you. I think that's, and I do.
67. It's only taken me a little while to be able to say, I'll take any credit that's going
No, I appreciate that. That's awesome.
really from my heart.
Um, well, we need more of that for men, for sure. But I think men know that. I think it's the fear that they would be controlled, or they would feel that, where do I fit in? And within the context of what love is, there is no there is no competition.
Right,
There's none of that.
right. Well said.
And that's where that breath comes in. That's where that breath comes in, and that letting go, and that it's final, it's over, it's done. And now we can begin.
Yes, yes.
And
Um,
yes.
yeah, no, that's lovely. I mean, this is a lovely conversation, my friend. It's a pleasure. You know, I mean, so in Patricia's teachings and in my studies with Lazarus for nearly 40 years, they say God got us all that is.
Mhm.
At Agape, we would say Father, Mother, God,
Yeah.
etc. And so, at first that took a little getting used to. I've told this story before, so I'll tell it very briefly again. I mean, you had you're being trapped in the drowning from the canoe accident. God love you. I mean, I nearly died a year and a half ago. I had a surgery. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm good. It was cancer, and they had to take a piece of my back and stick it on my front and take a bit out of my chest and remove my sternum. But
wow.
other than that, I'm in good shape. But why I'm bringing that up is because you know that was definitely a moment of true humility and surrender, which I'm still being blessed by. But what I wanted to share is one of the that was important to talk about. But what I wanted to share is that Lazarus did a workshop about the goddess, when we were, studying with them in person back in the 80s and 90s. And
Yeah.
so I went to this workshop, not thinking it would be anything different or whatever. I wept like a child for 2 solid days, like a
Mhm.
heartbroken,
Mhm.
grief-stricken
Mhm.
5-year-old child. And I had no idea why. And, I look back on that. So what I want to say in terms of breath, yes, the divine feminine is the breath of life, but it really is also the love, the
Mhm.
unconditional love that really the mind of man, struggles to comprehend and understand. Whereas the divine feminine in all of us, men and women,
Yeah.
is that fountain of love and light and peace and healing. And, what I'm experiencing, honestly, Fran, is that like I'm not doing energy work as you're doing so much right now. I'm just chatting here online with folks. But in the prayers that I do and like the poetry reading I did last Friday and whatnot, I can feel the energies really, you know, turning up. And I'm like, wow, this
Yeah.
is this is different. So to me, that's another source for that I have for hope right now as well, the energies themselves.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And it's as if we're in a piece of art, and it's we're co-creating and creating the next stroke, but in that paint and in that design is that we are collaborating and collecting what it is to know love and be a part of that um, energetic force that's just palpable now, more palpable.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
I agree.
but
Um, yeah, I mean, I think that's my sense too, that love is actually going to start to be a much more talked about and expressed and acceptable idea in our culture and in our world,
mhm.
because we have come to the last chapter of hating and fearing each other and seeing how far it will get us.
Right, right. We're done already.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think it's time to dance and get up and sing.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful.
So, um, I told you about the meditation, right? Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes.
yeah.
Give us your
So, my website is franbaileyhealer.com, and I'm just finished. I have a free download of my Shiva Method mini course, and
okay,
that's on the homepage that you can do,
okay,
and you can find out what kind of, in a nutshell, what it's about. And then I just finished recording 3 different meditations. One was on sleep, getting back to sleep. One was on self-esteem, and the other was focusing.
great,
And
great.
yeah, so that's kind of in a bundle, and that's on my franbaileyhealer.com product or some sort of product. I can't remember what it is.
Okay,
Anyway,
okay,
and if you want to sign up for the meditation, you just do a newsletter and do it that way, or on Facebook.
okay, great.
Okay.
Yes, I have. I've done a post
Oh,
uh,
good.
for you and a little bit of your biography, and did the put the Sunday offering, the
Oh,
17th there. Yeah,
perfect.
and
Perfect.
I'll put all that together with this. And hon, it's always a joy. I'm so glad.
Always a joy to see you.
Thank you, thank you. I'm so
Yeah.
glad Kathy threw us together here. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, let me give you a
I'm,
gift, if I may.
I'm gonna,
Go on.
okay. I'm gonna do a little healing on you,
Lovely.
and after we even get off, but
Oh,
I'm already
perfect.
looking at you, so just to let you know that I'm already doing that,
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you.
working your cells. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. You've given me a poem. I want to return the favor.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the my favorite current prayer here. This is for you and all your lovely followers and supporters, and for my all my lovely American friends from Uncle Lou in Ireland. And
Oh,
it's the Aramaic to English translation of the Lord's Prayer. Can I share that with you?
sure. Absolutely.
Okay, dear. So thank you, Fran, from my heart to yours.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Go ahead and close your eyes and turn within. Take a deep breath, everyone. So this is for peace and healing, for love and understanding, and for the family of humanity, recognizing that we have more in common than we ever will have that is different. And here's the words of our brother Yeshua. O cosmic birther of all radiance and vibration, soften the ground of our being and carve out a space within us where your presence can abide. Fill us with your creativity so that we may be empowered to bear the fruit of your mission. Let each of our actions bear fruit in accordance with our desires. Endow us with the wisdom to produce and share what each being needs to grow and flourish. Untie the tangled threads of destiny that bind us as we release others from the entanglement of past mistakes. Do not let us be seduced by that which would divert us from our true purpose, but illuminate the opportunities of the present moment. For you are the ground and the fruitful vision, the birth, power, and fulfillment, as all is gathered and made whole once again. And so it is, and together we say, Amen.
Lovely.
Thank you, my dear friend. Pleasure honoring your sacredness and your journey and all that you share with the world. And always a pleasure. I know we'll do this again. And I'm so grateful for your time today. Thank you, Fran.
Thank you, Lou. Take care of yourself.
Okay, you too. And thanks for the healing and all the beauty and wisdom.